San Pedro, California, home of one of the world's busiest harbors, is hosting its first pro boxing event in 20 years. But before the ring of the first bell, we pull out the scales at Taxco Restaurant for the pre-fight weigh-in.
116 and a half.
Round machine.
I'll be standing, I'll go on the front, okay? Okay, bye.
124 pounds, Olvera.
Olvera, 124.
Larry, how'd you get into boxing?
I got in it at the age of 13 years old. Just something to look forward to.
At 13?
At 13, getting to stay out of trouble off the streets. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
I liked it.
You grew up in LA, right?
Yes.
Okay, so whereabouts were you training and working out?
I was training originally out of Pico Rivera, out of a gym called Pico Rivera Boxing Club. And I started from there, and then from there I moved on to what Jimmy Montoya and them.
Okay. And how often do you train now?
I train every day.
Every day. Are you looking forward to the fight? You think it's going to be a knockout victory for you?
God willing, yes, hopefully it will. This guy I fought, he has beat me before. He stopped me in the second or third round.
Okay.
I did train for this one, so hopefully, God willing, everything comes out okay.
All right. Anybody in the boxing world you kind of look up to?
My all-time favorite is Jorge Paez.
Okay.
He didn't just do it for the money. He did it for the fun and the love of the sport, and he showed a lot of it, what it was about.
Is that kind of how you're doing it for? Because it's not about the money right now at this level.
Money, it's about the sport that I really go for it. I love it. I've done it since I was a kid. I like doing it. It's a lot of fun. I like hitting somebody and someone hitting me and not getting in trouble for it.
Yeah. Okay, Damien, how did you get started in boxing?
¿Empezaste tu carrera de boxeo? Bueno, empecé cuando era un niño, cuando tenía como 7, 8 años, amateur en Cuba.
You started at the age of 6 or 7 as amateur in Cuba.
Okay. Who do you look up to as a fighter now, or who did you look up to as a little boy?
Desde niño, ¿a quién veías como un ídolo de niño?
Bueno, siempre me gustó como boxeador profesional a Mike Tyson.
All right.
Mike Tyson.
Do you still look up to Mike Tyson now?
¿Hoy mismo todavía lo ves como un ejemplo para ti todavía del boxeo?
Como boxeador sí, ha sido un gran ejemplo para mí y todavía lo veo como en el ámbito boxístico como un ejemplo.
He still looks at him as a very good example as far as boxing wise.
Boxing wise,
yes.
Ear biting ways. Okay. Now, Jason said he wasn't up to full strength the last fight, so he's not worried about this rematch. Are you worried at all, or do you see any challenges?
Tu oponente dice que no estaba totalmente listo para la pelea anteriormente y quiere saber si tú estás, cómo piensas de esta pelea, si estás tú al tanto para estar listo.
Sí, para esta pelea sí estoy listo. Yo le gané una vez y lo conozco.
He beat him one time and he knows his boxing style.
Y vengo decidido a ganarle.
He's come decided to win this fight.
Hey, why do you want a rematch so bad? Tell me about the last fight.
I was sick the last fight. This kid won by a split decision, and I've been asking for a rematch since I walked out of the ring that night. And when they called me Tuesday night for the fight, I was like, where do I sign up?
So no worries about beating him then if you were at, 40%?
No worries at all. But again, you never know. I mean, I've been in the gym, he's been in the gym, but I'm very confident. I'm 100% this fight.
All right.
So
where do you train and who do you train with?
I train in Kissimmee, Florida. I just had new trainers about a month ago, and I train in Kissimmee.
Okay.
So
every day?
Yeah, 4 days a week. 4 days a week. Take the weekends off.
All right. And before this, you were a cop. So how did that job transition into this or whatnot?
I was a police officer for 8 years in Pennsylvania. I was fighting as a pro, as a cop, and I wasn't getting the proper training, working 40, 50 hours a week, going to the gym at night, being tired. I needed to get the proper training. So I wasn't getting any younger. I said, let me quit, give it a shot, and if it doesn't work out, I can always get a cop job somewhere else. So I can never say when I'm 50, what if?
Right.
I tried it, I did it. If it doesn't work out, but.
And so far it has. It seems like you got a great record. Who do you look up to in the boxing world? Who do you want to be in the ring with one day?
Well, James Toney. I mean, I'm one of his sparring partners. He's a big inspiration for me. A lot of my boxing styles because of him. I mean, I don't want to fight him, but he's definitely. I look up to him, his style, and try to be like him in the ring.
Talk about the fight and just what we should expect to see tomorrow night.
Tomorrow you're gonna see a beautiful fights all night. All the fights are even, all great fighters, all, I don't know, they are good fighters.
Good fights. How did you get into promotions?
Well, how I get into promotions, well, I'm in boxing. I've been training for a long time. I've been fighting for years, 10, 12 years as a professional fighter. Now, as a promoter, well, I decided to do the little step inside, and well.
Are you going to come out of promotions and come out of retirement and maybe fight again?
I don't know, maybe. I'm still thinking about it.
Okay.
It's hard not just to leave the boxing just like that. It's hard, but maybe I'm going to come back. I don't know.
Well, I'd like to comment on one thing.
Okay.
Panda's professional career, he fought mostly every fight of his professional career was fight against undefeated fighters.
Oh,
and
wow.
he took a lot of undefeated fighters' records away.
Wow.
So he was just an amazing fighter to watch.
Something to be proud of.
Oh, definitely.
The official weights are in the books and the fighters are ready to go. Back to the Harbor is coming up next.
College football lives here. Cox brings you hundreds of games this season on ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPNU. Plus, get HD service from Cox and get the biggest games in high definition on ESPN HD and ESPN2 HD, all at no extra programming charge. Cox and ESPN, your home for college football.
Are you game for a better way to watch college football? See it in HD. Order Cox Digital Cable with ESPN HD at Cox.com today.
Cox Sports Television presents Back to the Harbor as professional boxing returns to the South Bay. Hi everyone, alongside Beto Duran from ESPN Radio, AM 710, I'm David Smock. Happy that you can join us for the debut of Summertime Fights, a big 5-bout card tonight, including a couple of heavyweights in our main event.
It's going to be a good heavyweight event, David. Damian Norris, a Cuban defector, big amateur career, taking on Jason the Sensation Gavern, former police officer, fighting out of Kissimmee, Florida. These two know each other. They fought last year in San Jose when Norris took the split decision. Gavern didn't like it, was fighting at 40% because he had the flu. So he's been itching for this rematch. Will get a shot tonight. Norris, huge amateur career, fighting out of Cuba, all over Europe, just missed making the 2000 Olympic squad. Fled Cuba, went to Mexico, became a pro as a cruiserweight. And it should be a good fight tonight.
Of course, that'll be a little bit later on our telecast, but right now we'd like to bring in the third member of our broadcast team, Bernadette Santacola.
Thanks, David. I'm Bernadette Santacola, and I'm here at Wildcard Boxing Club in Hollywood, where some of tonight's fighters have trained. All right, guys, you ever think of becoming a pro boxer? Coming up later on, I get in the ring with a legendary trainer, and I'm going to show you that it's not as easy as it looks. That's coming up later on.
So our first battle of the night, a 4-round featherweight battle. Larry Olvera from San Pedro, 5'5", 124 pounds, 31 years old. And his opponent, Jesus Rios, 5'6", 125, age 22. Olvera in the red trunks and Rios in the black trunks.
Been a long layoff for Rios. Last time he fought was December of 2005. He fought in Guasave, Mexico, and he was knocked out. Reason for the long layoff? Personal reasons. He said he's fine, everything's taken care of, family life, and he should be back into good shape here.
Olvera comes in this match with a record of 8-8-2 by 4 knockouts. Rios 9-4-1 with 7 knockouts. Referee for this event is Lou Moret.
Olvera actually fought on June 15th, only a week ago, so he's really good up there in the ring.
You have one fighter who's just coming off of a fight and another one who's getting back into the ring after a long layoff.
And these two know each other. Back in 2004, Olvera actually was knocked out in the 3rd round by Rios, and that fight was in Las Vegas.
Action tonight here at the Longshoremen's Memorial Hall, home of the ILWU Local 13 here in Wilmington. Battle of the Harbor is the name of tonight's card. And of course, this is the debut on television of Summertime Fights.
It's going to be interesting to see how Rios responds. That long layoff, showing some ring rust. He just started training 4 months ago. Getting a chance to know him yesterday, Olvera said he was going to be more aggressive, and here you see Rios taking it to Larry.
Olvera is the father of 3, 2 girls ages 7 and 2, and a son age 3 of another girl due in late summer. Again, Olvera in the red trunks, Rios in the black trunks trimmed in gold. Three-minute rounds in this bout.
Good hook by Olvera there.
Rios is also the father of 3. As round 1 ends, Beto Duran of ESPN Radio AM 710, your kind of take on round 1.
I like the way Larry Olvera really came out, and as he said, he was going to be really aggressive. There you caught him towards the last minute of the round doing exactly that. He said he wanted to stay focused, and there you see Larry, who, like you mentioned earlier, fought a week ago, and that helps. Rios hasn't fought in almost 2 years, and a bit of the ring rust there. He's kind of tentative with that jab.
As I mentioned, Rios, the father of 3 sons, ages 3, 2, and 3 months. His manager says he likes to talk a lot, talking on the telephone, and one reason you can tell that, he has 2 cell phones. Because Rios in the blue corner and Olvera in the red corner as we get set for the start of round 2 in this 4-round featherweight bout. Back to the Harbor. Two Feathers Promotions in association with Panda Promotions putting on the fights tonight here at the Longshoremen's Memorial Hall in Wilmington.
Really nice event put on by the promoters. Boxing back in the Harbor for the first time in 20 years here at the Longshoremen Hall. And for Larry, living in San Pedro, just a quick little jump away from here into Wilmington.
One of 2 local fighters on the card tonight. The other one, resident of Harbor City. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Well, any rust being felt from any kind of layoff is certainly long gone. And that was a good shot there.
Olvera needs to keep that left hand up as Rios is starting to connect with that big right hand.
Now, Beto, seemed like in the first round they were just kind of swinging wildly at each other. Now they're in a lot closer quarters.
Yeah, they're just
going
standing
toe-to-toe.
right in the middle of the ring, and just what these fans want to see. 2 guys just slug it out. As Olvera's getting tagged by some good right hands by Rios. Olvera mentioned earlier, got to keep that left hand up, block some of those punches, deflect them. Rios being really aggressive here, taking to Olvera here this round.
Finally get tied up against the ropes for the first time here in round 2.
The book on Rios, he has a good, strong right hand. He's starting to show that some of that here in the second round.
And Olvera goes down.
With the right hand, we mentioned him. Able to get him.
So after the count, action resumes. Getting in the late stages of round 2 out of scheduled 4 as the bell rings. That is the end of round 2. Larry Olvera versus Jesus Rios.
Rios showing the power that he has in that right hand, able to knock down Larry Olvera towards the end of the second round. Olvera has to keep those hands up. The strong right hand by Rios, who hasn't fought in a little bit more than 2 years. First round kind of tentative, came out really strong and aggressive here in the second. Didn't really see Rios work the body that much, but one thing he did do was go after the head, and he was able to connect and tag Olvera.
Now let's join our roving reporter, Bernadette Santacola.
This is one important guy to the fights tonight, Danny Valdivia. Danny, how'd you become a ring announcer?
Oh, it's a long story.
It's a long story?
But I set a goal for myself to announce the 1984 Olympic Games. And it took me 3 years to get a job, but I made it to the Olympic Games.
Wow, that's a huge accomplishment. Do you have any patented slogan or something you say, like a "Let's get ready to rumble" type thing?
No, I'm the kind of announcer that lets the fighters do the fighting.
All right.
And I just do the introductions and the decisions.
All right. Well, what's your next goal for yourself?
Well, I'd like to announce a heavyweight world championship bout.
All right. Well, I'd like to be the ring reporter for that, so maybe I'll see you there one day.
Maybe we will. Thank you very much.
Round 3 underway. Beto, how do you have it scored so far after the first 2?
With the knockdown in the second round, it was a 10-8 round for Chito. I gave Larry the first round, so 19-18. Chito Rios with the lead.
There's Larry Olvera from San Pedro in the red trunks. Jesus Rios from Linwood in the black trunks.
In the corner, Rios' corner was telling him between rounds, work that jab, set up the big hand. Haven't seen that just yet.
Now Olvera has Rios into the blue corner. A moment ago was Rios with Olvera in the blue corner.
That's a good strategy by Olvera. Keep Rios' hands tied up. Don't let him extend that big right.
Get Olvera 5'5", 124 pounds. Rios 5'6", 125 pounds.
A good left hook by Olvera. Another good left hook. Larry Olvera answering the bell well here in the third. Gotta be careful. He still needs to work the body a little bit, Olvera. Don't want to go to the head too many times. What Olvera needs to do, he's connecting with the left hook, but he needs to follow up with a good follow shot. Put a couple combinations together.
This is action in round 3, a scheduled 4-rounder between featherweights Lou Olvera and Jesus Rios.
Good big left hook by Larry Olvera. He needs to follow that punch though.
Rios, originally from Sinaloa, Mexico, like I said, now living in Linwood. Olvera grew up in Los Angeles and Pico Rivera, and as we said, now living here in the South Bay in San Pedro.
Olvera's story is a good one. As he mentioned, he's a former recovering addict, and he said he wants to just prove to everybody that, hey, you can have second chances, and he's done some great things. 5 years sober, and he works with kids every single day, wants to stay involved in boxing. Olvera's doing a good job here in the third round.
Of course, people would be surprised to know that his wife delivered their second daughter while he was in Palm Springs being weighed in for a match that night. We're talking about, of course, Lou Olvera as round 3 comes to a close. One more round scheduled between these two featherweights, and Vettel, really a lot of action.
A lot of action, good exchange of flurries there in that third round. Oliveira really was the aggressor considering he was knocked down in the second, came out really strong, gave that round to him. I had this one tied up going into the fourth. A first time that these two go into the fourth round. Last time they fought back in 2004, Rios was able to knock down Oliveira and out.
Of course, you said Oliveira coming in with a record of 8-8-2, including 4 knockouts, but his amateur record 35-15. His last bout was a split decision. And of course now Larry Oliveira, the hometown boy from San Pedro, in the red corner. He's got one more round to try to take care of Rios. Of course, Rios and his camp, they're thinking they have one more round to take care of Oliveira.
Yeah, Oliveira, I don't know how he does it. He works at Vaughn's, the graveyard shift, comes home, sees his kids, tries to train, helps out little kids during the match, and then he has a chance to train for himself. As he said, with boxing, he's living the dream. Always wanted to be a pro fighter. He has his chance here. Yeah, the instruction Rios got in the corner between rounds was be fast, throw that jab, be fast. Also telling him to get off the ropes. They want him in the middle, just being able to exchange some flurries.
As referee Lou Moret, who separated them a moment ago. One of 2 referees scheduled to work tonight's bouts.
Oliveira's really been able to get those left hooks in the last 2 rounds.
Now Vera of Rios up against the ropes. And now Lou Moret, the referee, will separate them again. This is the 4th and final round. Featherweights, Larry Oliveira and Jesus Rios.
See some blood coming down the cheek of Rios. One of them left hooks that Oliveira's been able to connect. Oliveira's done a good job ever since the second round knockdown, not being able to let Rios exchange his hands, get that big right hand out there. That's where it's been the difference the last 2 rounds. Good adjustment by Oliveira. Big right hand by Oliveira, that's nice. A big left hook by Oliveira, knocking out the mouthpiece, and Oliveira's been able to get that left hook going in the last 2 rounds. And there you see it, stopping as the blood's starting to trickle down the right cheek of Chico Rios.
2 doctors are here tonight, Dr. Paul Walls and Dr. Richard Gluckman. They can stop a fight. And the bell rings. That's the end of the 4th and final round. In just a moment, we'll have the decision announced by our ring announcer. But Beto, a great way to bring back boxing after 20 years. What about to kick things off here back to the harbor?
You just said after 20 years we get a good one here, a good 4-rounder between Larry Oliveira and Jesus Rios. They just stand right in the middle and give the fans plenty to cheer about. Good exchange of flurry. Saw a knockdown by Oliveira in the second, able to turn it around, and I gave Oliveira the fight here.
Of course, there are 3 judges. They'll be adding up the scores, and then we'll give the information to Danny Valdivia He's the ring announcer. He was also the announcer at the 1984 Olympics. And Valdivia is also the ring announcer for Thompson Boxing Promotions and also the Battle of the Ballroom. The monthly event takes place at the hotel, one of the hotels down in Irvine.
Danny Valdivia, been around a long time, one of the consummate pros in the boxing game. That was a good exchange of flurries for an opening fight. That's what you want to see after 20 years. Give the people who are here at the Longshoreman Hall plenty to cheer about. If that's the way we can have our first card, our first fight, can't wait to see the other ones.
4 more bouts on the card tonight. Again, Two Feathers Promotions in association with Panda Promotions. Back to the Harbor, of course, for television. This is our debut of Summertime Fights. And a great opportunity to see some of these young up-and-coming fighters or even some of those journeyman fighters who have just, stayed in the sport, bout after bout, year after year. And really the dedication, the training that goes into one of these things, I think would be absolutely amazing to realize all the work that they do for just a few minutes in the ring.
The work and the sacrifice. Many of these guys have a real job, and then they're boxers, professionals, and the amount of dedication you need to be a professional fighter, the fact that your family has to deal with you being gone, and all the other struggles that you have to go through, it's just a real big admiration for these fighters.
Raul Caiz scored about 38-37, as well as Raul Caiz Jr. and Senior scored at 38-37. Lou Filippo scored at 39-36. All in favor of the winner by unanimous decision, Jesus Rios.
So Jesus Rios gets the unanimous decision to run his record to 7-2-0. Now check that. Record now 10-4-1. So good job by Jesus Rios as he defeats Larry Olvera. Again, Rios 10-4-1 now. His record with the win tonight here at Back to the Harbor.
Well, 2 of the judges had it 38-37 in favor of Rios. I had it 38-37 in favor of Larry Olvera. What the real big difference, and I believe what might have swung the judges, was the 10-8 round, the second round knockdown where Olvera took a knee after the big right hand by Chito Rios.
Well, more action coming up in a moment, but right now, again, let's check in with Bernadette Santacola.
All right, great fight. How did you feel about it?
¿Cómo te sientes ahorita? Muy bien, gracias a Dios.
Muy bien, okay. Larry says he already wants a rematch. What do you think?
Quiere una revancha. Que si quiere una revancha, claro que se la damos. No hay problema.
No problem? No. All right. No problem. He says he'll give him another rematch, right?
So give him another rematch. No problem anytime when he wants.
All right. How do you feel right now?
¿Cómo te sientes ahorita? Perfectamente bien, físicamente y psicológicamente. Perfectamente. Physically, mentally, he's fine.
All right. All right. Well, congratulations to you. Good fight. All right. Fought a good fight. You can see want a rematch?
Yeah, another one. That'll be the third one.
That'll be the third one. All right.
Getting ready for our next bout. 4 rounds involving super lightweights. Anthony Ramos, originally from Santa Barbara, now living in Inglewood, 0-2. Knocked out in his first fight against Brent Rodriguez from Honolulu, Hawaii, now living in Venice Beach, making his pro debut tonight after an amateur record of 78-12 with 42 knockouts. And right now, let's go back to the ring and our announcer, Danny Valdivia.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the ring we have super lightweights, 4 rounds. Your referee in charge, Dr. James Jenkin. Wearing black trunks with gold trim from Oahu, Hawaii, fighting out of the Indio Boxing Club, Indio, California, making his professional debut this evening at 140.5 pounds, Brent Rodriguez. In the blue corner, wearing white trunks with black trim, from Santa Barbara, California, fighting out of the Broadway Gym and Box. His record, 2 losses as a professional at 138.5 pounds, Anthony
David Spock and Beto Duran ringside here at the Longshoremen's Memorial Hall in Wilmington, home of the ILWU Local 13. As we get set for Ramos versus Rodriguez, you have one boxer making his pro debut, the other with two fights to his record. Kind of a lot of interesting mix.
Definitely interesting mix. Ramos is 28, Rodriguez is 26. The two guys got into the professional ranks recently. As for Rodriguez, huge amateur career. You mentioned 78 wins, 5-time Hawaii State champ, 2-time Golden Gloves. An interesting fact, he fought at 152. He's moving down to 140, so he should have a lot of power there.
Ramos coming in 5'7", 140 pounds. Rodriguez 5'8", 140 pounds. Ramos, a 2004 graduate of Cal State Northridge with a BA in Media Management with an emphasis in broadcasting, so someday he might be joining us here on Summertime Fights.
He might be doing the play-by-play while he's in the ring.
Again, this is the first of 4 rounds involving the super lightweights.
Ramos, an accomplished athlete, played quarterback in high school, played football as a receiver at Cal State Northridge. Said he's just an athlete, run all over the place, run all day.
Ramos is a non-denominational minister. His father is also a minister. We asked Anthony Ramos who his biggest fan is. He says his dad doesn't have a choice. I'm his son.
And then I caught up with him before the fight. He came up to me and goes, hey, by the way, my other biggest fan, my mom. He goes, you make sure you mention both of them are my biggest fans. I got to get it right.
There's a lot of family members and friends here on hand for Back to the Harbor. This 5-bout card being put on by Two Feathers Promotions in association with Panda Promotions.
Both these guys just kind of feeling each other out.
After so much action in our last bout, kind of a little bit of a slower pace here in the first round involving these two super lightweights.
I like the way Rodriguez is coming out, though, making his pro debut. He's not overly excited, not overly anxious, just kind of letting the fight come to him and picking his spots.
Rodriguez, originally from Honolulu, Hawaii. He said people would be surprised to know that he moved to the mainland for boxing. Now living in Venice Beach, so he'd be close to the ocean.
Can't get away from the water if you're from Hawaii, right? Loves to surf, typical Hawaiian things. Another pastime of his that he said he's pretty good at, spearfishing. I mean, you and I go spearfishing all the time, don't we?
He also enjoys surfing and diving. Dr. James Jen Kim is our referee as round 1 has come to a close. Anthony Ramos versus Brent Rodriguez. And Beto, your take on round 1 between these two super lightweights.
It's kind of a tough one to judge there. Neither of them really was the over-aggressor, but that's one of the key factors. Who's the aggressive? I think Rodriguez came in a little bit more aggressive and had more of the big, heavier punches that landed a little bit more of the action, taking it to Ramos. So I gave that one to Brent.
This bout scheduled for 4 rounds. Mentioned Anthony Ramos coming in with a record of 0-2, currently living in Inglewood, California. Brent Rodriguez making his pro debut from Venice. Start of round 2, Rodriguez in the black trunks with the gold lame, Ramos in the white trunks with the black trim.
Again, a chance to speak with Rodriguez yesterday. You still pick up that heavy Hawaiian accent.
He got a nice job there a moment ago, getting out of the way. Very nimble, able to duck down.
It's a huge amateur career that he had. Fought for the Silver Gloves in Colorado Springs, went to the trials, and coming up along the way. So Rodriguez definitely knows a lot of boxing compared to Ramos, who came onto it a little bit later, but he said he just liked it. He was around 20, playing at Northridge. And, you know, when you're an athlete, you got to find something to do. You know, football's over for you. Get going, and boxing's the way.
Anthony Ramos, 28 years old. Brent Rodriguez, 26. Yeah, we're talking about a couple of boxers here starting out, but we're talking about Rodriguez with some 90 amateur fights. I mean, he's certainly no neophyte other than accepting a paycheck at the end of the night. Ramos just making his third pro fight.
Lost his last fight to Gaddafi Proctor in split decision. A fight he said could have gone either way.
And Beto just kind of like round one here in round two. Still kind of feeling each other out except for right there. Quick flurry. And then Dr. Kim separates them as action resumes here in the second round, scheduled for 4.
Rodriguez tried to come in with the big right hand. He actually took himself off balance, and Ramos made him pay for it with a nice left hook that kind of stung Rodriguez.
Seems they have these quick little flurries, and then they kind of, back off a little bit.
Exactly right, Dave. Where they have the quick flurries, they back off, and they're another tough round to judge. I give that one to Ramos, as he was able to connect with the big shot of the round, a left hook. But it's going to be interesting. 2 more rounds, and it's exactly what happens. The reason the first fights are 4 rounds, then you move up to the 6th round, then the 8 and the 10. And when you're first time out, you're kind of feeling it out. You're in front of a crowd for the first time without the headgear. As amateurs, you wear the headgear. And you come out here and you're like, wait a minute, I'm a pro now. But no matter what, once you get in that ring, you got to throw out the punches.
Round 3 underway. Anthony Ramos and Brent Rodriguez. Beto, this applies to any fight, but of course, it depends who wants it more. And here you have one fighter in his pro debut, the other in his third bout.
Ramos looking for his first victory, and you got to have that hunger. I asked him yesterday at the weigh-in, you lose your first 2 fights, got to get to your confidence. He goes, no, I'm a fighter. He goes, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to win. He goes, I think I win every fight. That's the attitude you have to have as a pro.
Probably the biggest change for Brent Rodriguez making his pro debut is the fact he doesn't have the headgear anymore like you see in amateur boxing.
And the 3-minute rounds, long time.
Rodriguez in the black trunks with the gold lame, Ramos in the white trunks with black trim.
You see Rodriguez trying to load up that big right hand. As an amateur, 42 KO, so he's capable of knocking somebody out. Ramos' corner is yelling for him to be first, and he's letting Rodriguez take control of this round. Good flurry there by Ramos.
Rodriguez trying to counter.
Both these guys just feeling each other out. Each had a good flurry this round. And one place Ramos doesn't want to be is on the ropes. Letting Rodriguez extend there.
Broken up by the referee, Dr. James Jan Kim. As round 3 has come to a close in this 4-rounder between Anthony Ramos and Brent Rodriguez. And now both of these fighters, Rodriguez in his pro debut has 3 more minutes to go. And Ramos in his 3rd fight looking for his first win as a pro.
Looking for a first win. In each round we've seen a small flurry from each fighter. Let's see here if they both let it go for longer than 10 seconds, and it should be a good round, 4th round.
And as far as your unofficial scorecard right now?
I have Rodriguez up by 1 point, but these rounds have been so close and so tight, they could easily flip-flop either way.
Our second bout tonight on Summertime Fights. Back to the Harbor is the name of the card here at the Longshoremen's Memorial Hall in Wilmington, California. Longtime home of the ILWU Local 13. And a beautiful facility, excellent place to have boxing, and that's where we are tonight here on Cox Sports Television. 4th and final round.
Rodriguez comes out the aggressor. Working the body the first time we see Rodriguez do that. He's been working to the head. This time he goes for the ribs.
And both boxers know they don't have another round after this. This is it.
And when it's such a close fight, it can go either way. That's what you want to be. The aggression is going to be who will win the round. Look at some blood coming out of the nose of Rodriguez, as Ramos has a little knot underneath his right eye. Haven't seen that many big punches, but both these fighters starting to wear a couple wounds out there.
Ice bags will be the order of the night after this one. Lots of ice. See, they're kind of wearing down a little bit.
This is where conditioning really comes into effect. All five Rodriguez's corner, Ramos's corner has been telling him, be first, and he's letting Brent Rodriguez, the Hawaiian, be first. That's the disadvantage that Ramos has here going into the end of the 4th round.
A little headshot there by Rodriguez. Beto, I think this would be kind of a difficult fight to judge. You've got a lot of good qualities and not so good qualities. You know, both fighters trying to connect.
And the fact there haven't been that many long flurries, quick, short, little ones, and each fighter's been able to mix it up as good exchange here.
Bell rings, ending this 4-round super lightweight bout between Anthony Ramos and Brent Rodriguez. And in just a moment, we'll have the announcement of the winner by a ring announcer, Danny Valdivia. And of course, Rodriguez, no matter what happens, he is now officially a pro, having completed his first bout. Ramos 0-2 in his third fight, trying to get his first win. And we'll go to the ring for the announcement from Danny Valdivia.
All three judges agree with a score of 38-38. A unanimous decision draw.
So all three judges with the unanimous decision, 38-38, and it's a draw for Anthony Ramos and Brent Rodriguez. Ramos goes to 0-2-1, and Brent Rodriguez in his pro debut is now 0-0-1. Back with more summertime fights in just a moment. Back to the harbor in Wilmington, California.
Some say that behind every great man is a woman. Well, you can use that analogy in boxing and say behind every great boxer is a trainer. We take you inside the ring with one of the most popular and greatest trainers in the world. Haha. Yeah, good. So, how many people can say they get their hands wrapped by Freddie Roach? Not many. Wildcard Jim has seen some of the best boxers in the world, but how does Freddie Roach create champions? Well, I found out for myself. Okay, let's try this again. All right. No, hold on. You think I could figure this out? You think I'd be able to jump rope? Okay.
Here goes here.
I've never fought with such a big glove on though. All right, he warned me. He hits back. I'm ready to go.
The bigger gloves is good for you because then, like you wear bigger gloves in the gym and then in competition, you wear smaller gloves so it makes you faster and
okay.
better. So.
Makes sense.
Right here. First thing you work on is the jab.
Okay.
Step forward, step.
Okay.
Back foot. Got it, girl. Good. Now put them together. 1, 2.
Okay.
1, 2. 1, 2. Good.
Okay.
Now on the rotation.
Stay square.
Come with your shoulder.
Okay.
It's like the arm on.
Right hand, left hook, right hand.
Transfer weight. Very good. Again.
Okay. Oh, I dropped my hand.
You block with your hand. Yeah.
So 1, 2, upper.
Good job.
Okay.
Good job again. Hands up.
Hand up.
Good.
All right, talk to me now about a daily training. What we did with me is kind of your average training with a pro boxer, right?
Yeah, we're just a little more intense and a little longer, of course. You know, the fighters work out for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and it's very intense. And my philosophy on sparring, of course, is I don't spar my fighters every day because I don't want them to get burnt out.
Right.
I don't think fighters need wars every day in the ring. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are my sparring days, and Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are my middays where we work on technique and strategy of a fight.
Are you also the strength and conditioning trainer?
Not always, but for most of my fighters, yes. But like for Bernard Hopkins and De La Hoya, they have their own guys because they're at that level where they can afford that to happen. A lot of fighters are, at the small level. I do everything with them. I sit there running programs up in their strength and so forth.
And there's been a lot of changes with strength and conditioning people. There's gyms out there like Velocity now that do a whole nutrition program. Do you work the same way you did 10 years ago?
Yeah, I'm old school.
Old school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Velocities, they told me that getting conditioning competition is a science. I says, I'll agree to a point, but how many fights have you had?
There
so,
you go.
But,
okay. And how many fights have you had?
150 amateurs and 54 pro.
Good. Okay.
Walk backwards.
Oh, okay. So I have to do the work. I get it. Even in the wraps, I do the work. All right, I like it. I wouldn't call trainers lazy, but that's the way it works. You make us work. All right.
So,
thank you.
Those are yours.
So you keep these. Awesome.
Yeah, and
perfect, and I'll come back.
Come back and use them, okay?
Okay, perfect. I will. Thank you. Freddie Roach, the legendary trainer for a reason, the best in the world.
Next up is a 6-round battle of bantamweights, Daniel Quevedo and Jesus Valadez. Quevedo from Harbor City, California, 5-4-2 of 2 knockouts, and Valadez 4-6-0 from Los Angeles. And let's go to ring announcer Danny Valdivia for the introductions.
In the red corner, wearing black trunks with white trim, from Aranda, Jalisco, Mexico, fighting at El Monte Boxing Club. His record, 4 wins, 6 losses, at 116 pounds, Jesus Valadez. In the blue corner, wearing black trunks, from Navolato, Sinaloa, Mexico, fighting out of Harbor City Boxing Club. His record, 5 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, 2 wins coming by way of knockout at 116.5 pounds. El Cuate, Daniel Quevedo.
Years old. Valadez originally from Jalisco, Mexico, now living in Los Angeles.
It should be a good one. David Quevedo loves the knockout. He loves going for it. He just likes showing that power, and he has plenty of it.
Quevedo comes into this bout with a record of 5 wins, 4 losses, and 2 draws. He's had 2 knockouts. His last fight was May 25th versus Cesar Grajeda. For Valadez, he is 4-6-0 as a pro, 10-5 is his amateur record, although he says he's fought over 100 times. Of course, many of those being unsanctioned bouts. His last fight was last fall in a loss.
Yeah, Valadez, during his beginning professional stages, has fought some big-time names. Jose Navarro, an Olympian. He lost to him on a KO, and he was also lost a decision to Giovanni Segura, 2 bantamweights that are just up and coming in the professional ranks. So he's taking on some big-time names.
Our first couple of fights tonight on Summertime Fights, 4-rounders. This is one of 2 6-round bouts on the card this evening.
This will be a fight with plenty of action. What we're seeing right now, just 2 guys mixing it up, is exactly what we're going to get. As Quevedo mentioned earlier, loves the knockout. He just loves the box, he said.
We saw Rios defeat Olvera, Ramos, and Rodriguez in a draw. And here Daniel Quevedo and Jesus Valadez, 2 bantamweights in round 1, scheduled for 6.
Quevedo goes for the big-time hit, but he needs to work the body against Valadez. If he can be able to work the body, wear him down a little bit, then he can go for that big knockout that he always looks for. Think about Valadez, he's got that non-stop movement. The conditioning is fantastic. He says he runs a lot, but when you play soccer on Sundays and you're a forward every Sunday and you love it, you know, soccer is some of the best conditioned athletes out there. So Valadez, not only does he get his road work in during the week, he's out there running as a forward on a soccer team, so he's got plenty of conditioning in him. 6 rounds, that ain't nothing to him.
Plays Sundays in an amateur league. He says he finds it relaxing.
Oh, when you're a boxer, it's a solitary game, and you know, at least you have teammates in soccer.
Round 1 has come to an end here in our bantamweight bout between Daniel Quevedo and Jesus Valadez. David Smock, Beto Duran ringside here at the Longshoremen's Memorial Hall in Wilmington near the Port of Los Angeles. And Beto, talk a little bit about this first round and how you see it at the end of one.
Well, we saw plenty of action. That's what we're going to see all 6 rounds if it goes that far. Is Quevedo loading up, going for the big punches. Right now his corner's telling him, work the jab, work the body. You've got to wear him down. And you know, Valadez, he's not going to go down easy. He's only been knocked out once, and that's against the former Olympian Navarro. He goes the distance most of his fights. Got to wear him down.
Quevedo in the blue corner, Valadez fighting out of the red corner. And Lou Moret now calling both fighters from their corners back out into the ring to start round number 2.
Quevedo has a brother, Enrique, who's actually a twin.
Daniel Quevedo wearing the black trunks, a little bit of gold trims, his Toluco on the front of it. Valadez, black trunks trimmed in white with no lettering. That's probably the easiest way to tell the difference. Also, you can say that Quevedo wearing the black shoes, Valadez wearing red shoes. A little bit more action here, Beto, starting off the second round.
Valadez doing a good job of slipping some punches by Quevedo. That's what he's going to have to do to go the distance with him.
And Daniel Quevedo, the other local fighter on the card tonight, now living in Harbor City.
Quevedo needs to put a couple combinations together. He lands the big punch, but then he lays off of that. Get a good flurry going, and combinations against Valadez, and you'll be okay. He's already the aggressor. The advantage that Quevedo has is that Valadez, no knockouts. The book on him, he's going to be a good fighter for up-and-coming fighters. As Quevedo gets the knockdown that he's been looking for. Valadez looks hurt, he's a little winded. He can just hold on, let the ring run out.
Lou Moret, the referee for this fight.
Looks like Quevedo is on the prowl as Valadez is still hurt.
This is round 2, scheduled for 6.
Needs to get off those ropes.
And Quevedo definitely on the attack.
The referee stops it.
So the fight ends in round 2. And you could tell that once Valadez got in trouble, it was not going to go 6.
He went down on a big punch by Quevedo, and Quevedo was just on the prowl looking for that big knockout, and the referee stopped it because Valadez was on the run, not fighting back. Anytime you see a fighter not throwing any punches to defend himself, that's when the referee gets in there involved. And I think it's a good stoppage. You don't want to see anybody get hurt out here, especially with Quevedo with that big right hand.
Well, boxing is a brutal sport. They've had deaths in the ring, different venues across the country and around the world on occasion And, of course, the referee, along with the fight doctor, they will do everything they can to protect the fighters. And if they suspect that one fighter is, perhaps risking injury or something like that, they will stop it. Always better to stop it than to continue and have somebody get hurt.
So Quevedo gets his third knocked out. That's a TKO this time. He improves to 4-5. So Quevedo, the knock on him, as you see him fight excellent tonight, was that he goes for the big punches where he doesn't really box.
Let's go to ring announcer Danny Valdivia for the announcement.
Stop the bout. The winner by a knockout in 2:34 of the second round, Daniel
So Daniel Quevedo with the victory over Jesus Valadez, 2:34 in the second round. They call it a knockout. And while we have a moment, let's check in with Bernadette Santacola.
All right, guys, a lot of people are here to see the fights, but also a lot of people are here to see ladies like this one. Patty, you're a ring girl. How did you become a ring girl for tonight's fight?
Actually, I started with MMA fights. Yeah.
And moved up to this?
Yeah, well, I did this for a friend.
Okay, for a friend. Do you do a lot of boxing fights?
No, I do cage fights.
Cage fights?
Yeah, which is, everything.
Everything. Yeah, what do you like more?
Cage fights.
Cage fights?
Yeah.
Is that crowd crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy.
All
Because,
right.
they get to do anything.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
It's really fun and,
All right.
lots of fun.
Well, thanks, Patty. You're looking great tonight.
Thank you.
All right, guys. One of the fans' favorites right here, Patty. Back to you.
Justin. Ladies and gentlemen, you might notice the television camera. Cox Cable Channel 3 is filming it, and it will be on Channel 3 in approximately 3 weeks. Two Feather Promotions in association with Panda Boxing Promotions presents the main event of the evening. The big boys of boxing, heavyweights, 8 rounds. Tonight's bouts have been sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Armando Garcia, Executive Officer. Judging the main event, from West Covina, Raul Caiz Sr., from Downey, Lou Filippo, from West Covina, Raul Caiz Jr. Your referee from Eagle Rock, California, Dr. Lou Moret. In the red corner, wearing blue trunks with white trim, from Havana, Cuba, fighting out of Johnny Taco's Boxing Club, Las Vegas, Nevada. His record, 9 wins, 3 losses, 7 of his wins coming by way of knockout. At 208.5 pounds, Damian Norris. In the blue corner, wearing black trunks with white trim, from Kissimmee, Florida, fighting out of Diane's Boxing Club, Kissimmee, Florida. His record, 11 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws, 5 of his wins coming by way of knockout. At 226 pounds, the sensation, Jason Gavern.
David Smock and Beto Duran ringside as we get set for round 1, scheduled for 8, between Damian Norris and Jason Gavern. Of course, these two fought each other a year ago. Norris at the time hung the only loss on Gavern with a close split decision. As we get set for round 1, since then Gavern lost his last fight to Tiki Oru and also losing to Chris the Nightmare Areola.
Gavern's going to come out really aggressive, and he really wanted this fight because he said he fought only 40% last year in San Jose. He thinks he was robbed of that split decision. He's really looking to avenge that loss, and Gavern's going to be the real aggressive one. He told us yesterday in the weigh-ins.
Norris in the blue trunks, trimmed in white. Gavern in the black trunks, trimmed in white.
Don't wrestle with him, Jason. Don't wrestle with him.
You know, talking to Gavern before the fight, he really wants this one. Kind of even the score of Norris.
This is only the 5th heavyweight fight for Norris, who started his pro career as a cruiserweight. That's 190 limit, and he's always had trouble putting on the weight. Finally, as he's getting older, he's now 24. You know, get a little bit older, the weight doesn't exactly leave your body.
Gavern is 30. People might be surprised to know that Jason Gavern now is a stay-at-home dad in between fights, helping take care of his 2 children, 9-year-old daughter Liera and 6-year-old son Landon. His wife is a minister. That's why they're in Kissimmee, Florida. Gavern having turned pro back in 2002.
Started boxing at a late age of 20. As also an Army reservist, got into it. You know, the police officers, they like to mix it up a little. Started boxing there, and that's how he started his pro.
Gavern said this particular fight is more mental for him. He said Norris was the one to give him his first loss, and so Norris is the opponent here in the rematch, and Gavern wants to even it up. Norris coming in 9-3 overall, 7 knockouts. Gavern 11-3-2 with 5 knockouts, and now starting to go toe-to-toe a little bit before they get tangled up.
Yeah, Norris looks like he's starting to hold on a bit, and Gavern get a little frustrated. Norris actually being warned by the referee for holding.
Gavern, as far as a hobby is concerned, likes to ride his motorcycle. He was in a wreck almost a year ago, and this is his first bout since then. So it's been almost a 1-year layoff for Jason the Sensation Gavern.
Actually had rotator cuff surgery, more common for baseball players, and boxers too have the same overhead motion, and he's recovering from that. Got a nice little scar on his right shoulder. Big right hand by Gavern.
And the bell sounds, ending round 1 in this heavyweight main event. Damian Norris versus Jason Gavern. And actually a kind of interesting 3 minutes here in the first round, Beto.
Yeah, starting to feel each other out, and Gavern really being the aggressor there, trying to take it to Norris. Norris starting to hold on a bit. Gavern really complaining to the referee about that. We saw Norris being warned. Actually, he's being warned in between rounds by the referee not to hold. And you know, when you're heavyweights, you don't want to see them clutching and holding. You want to see them exchanging them big blows.
They have to remember it's a boxing bout and not WrestleMania. So 1 round in the books here in this 8-round heavyweight fight. The main event here back to the harbor, being held at the Longshoremen's Memorial Hall, the home of the ILWU Local 13 here in Wilmington near the Port of Los Angeles.
Looked like Gavern was warned by referee Dumoret for throwing punches behind the head when they are clutching there. So both fighters getting a warning here. It's interesting to see how they're going to come out here in the second round. Both these fighters have fought some big names. Norris recently fought Fresno Kendo, the Puerto Rican heavyweight, who's always in line somewhere in the top 5 in contender rankings. Norris also was TKO'd by Chris Arreola, an up-and-coming heavyweight out of Riverside who's really starting to make a name for himself. See him a lot locally in the Indian fights, and he's starting to make his name known in Vegas. And a Mexican heavyweight, there we go. Gavern spars with none other than James Toney.
Well, Gavern wants a rematch with Chris the Nightmare Arreola, and he knows he has to go through Norris to get it. And it's Norris and Gavern tonight here in our main event, second round action. Now Lou Moret, the referee, will separate them.
As Norris is warm for the elbow there. You know, get a little bit close and long arms, long reach. Both guys, big guys, 6'5", 6'3", mixing up the arms.
Speaking of reach, as we said earlier, Norris has an 82-inch reach. Gavern 73 inches.
As Gavern is running his mouth a bit, and he's warm for that. Hey, when you spar with James Toney, you learn you need to keep talking. Gavern actually had an interest, before you're saying, when he trains with Toney, and he actually sparred. It's not sparring, it's fighting. You come out here and you're fighting, and if Toney has a good one, the bounty. If you could knock James Toney out during a sparring session, you get $10,000. How about that?
And that's a lot of incentive. James Toney, one of the stars of pro boxing these days. Gavern just putting his gloves up, almost daring Norris to hit him.
There he gets hit with a good left hook by Norris. Norris has some power behind that right hand. 7 KOs and for his 9 victories.
Round 2 has come to a close. And when we have a moment, let's check in with Bernadette Santacola.
All right, there's a lot of professionals out here tonight, guys, and this is one of them. 2000 Olympian, tell me about your boxing career.
Well, I've been boxing for 22 years now. I started at the age of 4, and I was able to represent my country in the 2000 Olympic Games, which is the biggest accomplishment I've had. I've won a couple of belts as a pro. I'm ranked 2 in the world right now with the WBC, and hopefully I'll begin to shine in September. All right. Me and my whole team have hopes to fight for the world title soon and winning it, so that's what we're shooting for.
Okay, who are you up to fight next?
It might be the WBC champion, Christian Mejares from Mexico.
Okay.
So hopefully the negotiations with my promoter and his promoter go well. And
that was my next question. Who's your promoter?
My promoter's out from New York. His name's Lou DeBella.
Okay.
DeBella Entertainment. He's been doing a good job with me.
Okay.
Now my career is moving along pretty good, so I'm just hoping for things to keep going well.
All right, and who are you training with right now then?
I'm with the same trainer I've had all the time, Frank Rivera.
All right. Awesome.
Great trainer.
In Los Angeles?
In Los Angeles. I'm from Los Angeles.
All right.
Stayed in Los Angeles. Hopefully stay here, so.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Enjoy tonight. All right. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Bernadette. David Smock and Beto Duran ringside at the Longshoremen's Memorial Hall. Start of round 3 in our main event between Damian Norris and Jason Gavern.
Yeah, both these fighters have been warned for the clutching and holding. Actually, Norris is warned for the elbows. Gavern warned for throwing behind the head.
Well, Lou Moret, the referee, being proactive, handing out those warnings before it gets out of hand.
That's what a good, experienced veteran like Lou Moret does. He's been involved in some big-time fights, and here, it might only be a club fight, but if you treat it any way you want, it's just like if it's in Vegas. You don't let things get out of control here. And you want a good, clean fight, give the fans here at the ILW Hall something to scream about.
And while we have a moment, we want to thank Two Feathers Promotions and Panda Promotions for putting on this 5-bout card tonight. Good turnout of fans here at the home of the ILWU Local 13, the Longshoremen's Memorial Hall.
Nice venue, good turnout. You had some longshoremen presidents here, some dignitaries in the Union 13 shop showing up here in between bouts, and nice to see them lending their support to Panther Promotions and Two Feather. And hopefully this is just something, the beginning of something here. They plan on doing another one soon.
Back to the Harbor, the first pro boxing event here in this Longshoremen's Memorial Hall in a long time. And especially Panther Promotions, the local promoter, working in association with Two Feathers. Hopefully we'll be putting on more bouts and more cards here at the Longshoremen's Hall.
People go find good boxing, and when you have it here in the South Bay, in your own backyard, that helps. You deserve it out here. You don't want to have to drive up and down the freeways on Friday night to see some good fights.
Well, after kind of dancing around in the third round, Norris and Gavern exchanging some blows. Gavern up against the ropes. Again, Norris in the blue trunks, trimmed in white. Damien on the front, Norris on the back. Gavern, black trunks, trimmed in white, with his last name on the back of his trunks.
30 seconds, Jason, 30 seconds, let's go.
Norris 6'5", Gavern 6'2.5". Gavern, the veteran, 30 years old. Norris, also a veteran, but kind of on the young side at 24.
Huge amateur background, almost made the Olympic squad for Cuba, which is known for their boxing program. In the 2000 Olympics, didn't make it. Hey, I want to be a pro. In Cuba, there's no pro fighting. Had to leave, fled to the Yucatan in Mexico, and that's where Norris became a pro.
3 rounds in the books. Let's check in again with Bernadette Santacola.
Okay, guys, the fights are good, but the girls look even better. I'm here with another one of the ring girls. Tell me your name and how you got into this.
My name is Otilia, and it's just a friend of mine just came up to me and was like, do you want to do this on Friday? I'm like, okay, why not?
Is this your first time?
My first time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It looks like fun, yeah.
So far, having a good time? Are you getting harassed a lot?
Not yet.
Not
this
yet.
is no, this is a first time intermission, so we'll see how it goes.
All right, well, you're doing a great job. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
Round 4 of the main event. Damian Norris and Jason Gavern. And Beto, how do you see the first 3 rounds so far in this 8-round scheduled bout?
Really tough to judge here. Both fighters just inside clasping and holding, but Norris, the last few rounds, starting to be a little bit more aggressive, landing the bigger punches. I have him up by 2. Then again, judging is your own opinion, so it easily could be the other way around. And the very unofficial Beto Duran scorecard.
After our main event tonight, Bernadette Santacola will be speaking with the winner.
In between rounds, Gavern's corner told him, don't lunge and come in, stand up straight, throw some punches. And there he's trying to make a little bit of adjustment, still ducking his head a little bit too much. Norris not letting Gavern extend his arms, use that power in his right hand. Good body shot by Norris.
Of course, all the video tonight from our bouts provided by Danny Jacobs, Paul Williams, and Cian Rivera, all doing a great job with the cameras and the interviews. And of course, they're capturing all the action in the ring right now in our main event, round 4. Could go as long as 8.
Well, you see, it looks like Gavern's getting a bit frustrated. He's able to land 1-2 punch, then Norris comes in for the clutch.
Whereas Norris has that advantage with that 82-inch reach, 9 more inches than Gavern.
Gavern winding up, coming with the right hand, connecting on the side of Norris. So, Gavern gives you a shoulder.
And there's a flurry.
A good left hand by Gavern, able to connect.
I believe Norris at 6'5", 210 said that he was always a skinny kid growing up in Cuba, as round 4 has come to an end here in our main event between Damian Norris and Jason Gavern. Ringside here for our main event, start of round 5.
Interesting between the rounds, Gavern took a seat like a normal boxer would on the stool. Norris stayed standing up in the corner, looking fresh as his trainer was giving him directions. And usually you want to be able to sit down, try to rest the legs a bit here, especially in a nice tough fight like this. Interesting to see if that will affect Norris.
Norris said he attended college in Cuba, wanted to become a lawyer. If he would be surprised to know that no one else believed he would be a champion someday. Of course, his parents are his biggest fans. Gavern, an AA in criminal justice from a community college in Pennsylvania. He's a former police officer in Scranton, Pennsylvania. His biggest fan is his father, who usually works in his corner.
Good left hook there by Gavern. When Gavern has a chance to throw punches, he's able to connect and make some good, strong punches against Norris. Looks like Norris might have got stung there with the right hook.
Yeah, the crowd kind of reacting to that as well. You know, boxing fans are not passive spectators. They get into the action.
Norris looks like he's winded here.
Norris taking a shot to the head there.
Yeah, he's got to keep those hands up. He still looks a little bit stung.
Gavern really trying to go on the offensive here against Damian Norris.
Yeah. Gavern needs to take advantage. He doesn't want to let Norris rest. If Gavern looks like he's throwing a lot of punches, he looks a little bit winded now. Check that. He comes back with a good flurry. 1-2.
And both fighters are up against the ropes as Lou Moret, the referee, separates them.
Norris was stung early in the round by some good combinations by Gavern, and he's just looking to survive this round. Another big right hand. Big right hand by Gavern. Actually a low blow called.
All this action in round 5. Scheduled for 8.
Gavern's got to finish strong here.
We hear Gavern's corner yelling out 30 seconds left here in this 5th round. These are 3-minute rounds, 1 minute in between rounds. And of course, because we're after 4 rounds, if this fight ends before 8, they would go to the cards here under California rules.
Big right hand at the end for Gavern. He's looking really confident, putting his hands up in the middle of one of those flurries, kind of waved at the crowd, wondering who he's waving at here.
Round 5 has come to a conclusion. Damian Norris, originally from Havana, Cuba, now residing in Las Vegas, Nevada. Jason, the sensation Gavern, originally from Scranton, Pennsylvania, now fighting out of Kissimmee, Florida as we start round 6.
Big 5th round for Jason Gavern. Really took control of that, stung Norris a couple times, and once again, Norris didn't take the stool in between rounds.
In case you're just joining us, Gavern trying to avenge his first loss in his pro career a year ago. That was handed to him by Damian Norris. Gavern just getting back into a ring after a long layoff due to injuries from a motorcycle accident. He has fought once prior to this fight. That was a loss to Tiki Oru.
Now, good flurry by Gavern. You know, he really wanted this fight. He said he's going to come out of control. That's exactly what he's been doing the last couple rounds.
Norris beat Gavern last year in a split decision. Lou Moret separates them, and now they go back to action here in round 6.
Norris starting to take a beating right in front of us as the split's flying here. Gavern's got to be careful not to punch himself out. A lot of big punches. He's going for that knockout. You still got a long way to go.
Kind of like a baseball player swinging for a home
right
run.
at us. We knew Gavern was a personality as we talked to him yesterday at the weigh-in, but when you're in the middle of a fight and he's looking right at me and you, Dave, that's confidence.
Talked to Gavern before the bout started tonight here back to the Harbor, and he was loose, relaxed, feeling confident.
Big right hand by Gavern. His corner's yelling at him, don't play around. Well, Gavern's really giving us a show here. One of the best things about Gavern yesterday, he said if he wins, he's going to interview Bernadette, not the other way around.
Of course, that's Bernadette Santacola, our reporter here at the Longshoremen's Memorial Hall, home of the ILWU Local 13 in Wilmington.
Big right hand by Gavern. He's looking for that knockout.
Last stages here of round 6.
It's not where Norris wants to be. He's been on the ropes in the corners all around. Gavern easily controlling. As a point is being deducted.
And I think they're going to deduct the point for talking.
Jason Gavern was warned early for talking in between rounds. Referee Kim said, stop that, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take away a point if you do it again. And Gavern, the confidence growing, keeps on talking. He loses a point here. That's huge.
Especially with only 2 rounds to go. And the bell rings, ending round 6.
All right, everybody, right now I'm with another professional fighter who's 13-0. Vanes, talk to me about your boxing career.
It's been good. I got a good manager, Shelly Finkel. I'm with Top Rank Promotions.
Okay.
And my coach is Freddie Roach, as you guys know, legendary Freddie Roach.
Right. Yeah, we talked to Freddie Roach yesterday. I'm actually training with him on Monday. Any tips?
Yeah, keep your left hand up.
Keep my left hand up.
He'll smack you if you don't.
Okay, this is good to know. This is good to know. Now, when did you start boxing?
Since I was 7 years old. It's been 14 years.
Okay. Who are you supporting here tonight?
Actually, the promoter, Panda, he's a good friend of ours. He comes to our gym. He told us about his fight, so we're here to support him.
And what's coming up next for you?
Next Friday in Arizona. It's going to be on Telefutura. I'm fighting 8 rounds as a co-main event.
All right, and if we want to find out more about you and your boxing schedule, how do we do that?
You go to vanesboxing.com.
All right, vanesboxing.com. You heard it here. Back to you guys.